Hi there, and welcome back to this series of videos which looks at using HTML to create great looking and interactive content on the likes of Moodle, WordPress, and many other platforms. In this episode, we expand on what we've already learned by adding some more tags. If you're not sure at this point what a tag is, go back and watch the previous video, which will be linked in the description. So here in front of me I have my Moodle page, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn editing on and I'm going to continue editing the content that we created in the last video. Specifically in this video, I'm going to look at creating links and adding images. So to begin, I'm just going to edit this label that we created in the last video. And as you can see, by default, the label opens up in plain text, and we need to open it up in HTML. So again, like in the last video, we click on Show More buttons, and we click on the HTML tag over here on the right hand side. Okay, that's a little better. Now the two tags that I'm going to teach in this video are the anchor tag, which allows us to create videos, and the IMG or image tag, which allows us to embed images. Again, these tags and many more work on many different sites. For instance, obviously Moodle, WordPress is another site, Blackboard is another popular learning management system that these tags will work on, and pretty much any forum-based software out there will accept HTML tags. So I'm going to start with the anchor tag, which allows us to link off to some external content. So the anchor tag begins with an A. It's then followed by an attribute called href, and href stands for hypertext reference, and essentially in between our quotation marks here we write down where we want to take the user when they click on our link. So here I'm just going to write google.com, that's where our user will be taken when they click on the link, and then I close off the anchor tag. Now in order to have some clickable content so that the user can actually see something to click, I'm going to put some content in between the opening and the closing anchor tag. So I'm literally going to right click here for more. I could write anything I wanted here. I could even put an image in here, which I'll show you how to do a little bit later. And we are going to see how that looks. So we'll scroll down and we'll click save and return to course. And there you can see I have my clickable link that says click here for more, and if I click it, we go straight off to Google. Now the only other thing that I'll mention is that you may notice that it replaced our tab here. So we're no longer on the Moodle page at all. And that's possibly not something that you would want to see. You generally want to keep users on your site or on your Moodle page or whatever site you're developing this content on. So I'm just going to go back and I'm going to make a quick edit to my code. So I'm going to click Edit, Settings, and I'm going to add in a target attribute. And I'll show you what that looks like now. Again, we need to turn HTML on. And just after where I've written google.com, I'm going to write target equals, and then in quotation marks, underscore blank. And essentially what this will do is it will open a new tab in our browser so that the user has a new tab up here at the top and they don't get taken away from Moodle. They can just navigate between the two tabs. So let's try that out. We'll save and return to course, and now when we click, Google opens in a new tab and I can flick between them. Okay, now the other thing that I was going to show you was how to embed an image. So again, I'm going to edit this label. I'm going to switch over to HTML mode and I'm going to add an image tag. So the image tag starts with the letters IMG. Then we add the attribute S or C, which stands for source. And this says where the image is going to come from. In between our quotation marks here, we'll actually add the name of the image, or rather the address of the image on the web. What we're about to do here is we're about to embed an image from an external website into our Moodle page here. So I'm going to find an image. I'm just literally going to go to Google and I'm going to choose one of these images to embed onto the site. Now in the current version of Google, what you have to do to get the actual address of these images, and bear in mind that the browser that I'm using here is Google Chrome. The process here might be a little bit different for Internet Explorer or Firefox or Safari, but it shouldn't be too different. What I need to do here is I need to pick an image, click on it, that's important, and then when the larger version of the image shows up, I right click and I copy the image address. I then jump back to where I was editing my label and I paste in that image address. And they can have quite long names, but so long as they end in something like .png or .jpg or .gif, you should be fine to use them. They should work with no incident. One thing you may have noticed is that while I have an opening image tag, I don't have a closing image tag. I self-close, as it's called, using a / at the end of the opening tag. The reason for this is that there's no text to go in between our opening and closing tag, so I don't need to close them off like this. That wouldn't make sense in this case. So when I'm adding an image, it's one of the rare tags that doesn't have a closing tag. It closes itself. So let's save that and see how it looks. Okay, not bad, but the image that I picked is huge. So we need to learn how to resize our images. So again, I'm going to go into Edit, Edit Settings, and I'm going to go back into our HTML again. The easiest way of doing this is by either altering the width attribute or the height attribute. So for this example, I'm going to add an attribute at the end of this tag, and I'm going to say width equals, again in our quotation marks here, I'm going to write 200px. Now 200px means 200 pixels, and that will make our image about 200 pixels wide, which I think should be more than enough for the screen. If you're not familiar with pixel widths, just play around with it. See what widths work for your site and what widths do not. So let me go save and return to course. And there we go. We have our smiley face and our text. One more thing that you can do to make sure that these are not in the same line is adding a break tag to essentially break up the content that we have here. So I'm going to edit the settings one more time. Again, I'm going to go into our HTML mode, and I'm going to add a break tag, which is another self-closing tag in between our anchor tag, our link, and our image tag. And what this should do, if I just jump back to the preview mode, is it should put a little bit of space between our items here. If I want more space, I can add more break tags. You can see we have a little bit more space here now. Finally, I'm going to show you how to turn an image into a link so that when a user clicks on it, they're taken to an external website. So again, I jump into my code, and all I would do here, if I wanted this image here to become a link, is I would replace the click here for more. Let's just go down a line or two. So my opening tag is now here, and my closing tag is now here for my link. I'll take the image code and I will place it in between the opening and the closing anchor tag. So I now have my image tag in between our opening link tag and our closing link tag. I can get rid of these break tags now. They're not doing anything for us anymore. And once I've done that, if I save one final time, I should now have a clickable image which will take me off to an external website by opening a new tab up here. So let's try it out. Perfect. That's all for this video. Join us in the next video where we look at embedding more external content such as YouTube videos and more. Thanks for watching.